Hey y'all, what is up? I am Felris. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm so glad you're here with me, enjoying some Raid Shadow Legends, having some fun with me today. Now, in today's video, I am actually going to do a champion spotlight on the Calamitous right here, which is my mythical champion, probably one of my favorite champions on my account. I mean, there's Armons. I love Armons, but I love Kymar, I love Syl, but I think Calamitous has to be one of my favorite champions on my account, and the reason is because he is my best AoE damage dealer, just flat out. All right, so we're going to take a look at his build, then we're going to run him in a couple areas. I'll show you my favorite areas for him. Particularly in dungeons. Alright, I already used him in my Hydra key this week, so I can't show you him in Hydra, but I can show you him in dungeons and where I like to use him the most. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing I wanted to show you is his build, alright? So, I've got broken pieces here, right? He's in 2-piece Slayer, which means we're getting the extra critical damage. He's also in speed. He has crit damage on the amulet, and we went with accuracy on the banner. Yes, I know I need to change the banner. The banner is very underwhelming, but it is what it is right now. I don't have anything better for him, right? So we went crit damage on the amulet, accuracy on the banner, because he needs accuracy in his second form to land his hex here, right? So what exactly is he doing? So first form, he has A1 Reaping Call, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit restores this champion's destroyed max HP equal to the damage inflicted. Each hit also heals this champion by 30% of the damage inflicted. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy, alright? So he's going to be getting lots of extra turns everywhere. This is great for campaign farming. Whole package, right? Good A1, alright? A2. Horde of Calamity. Attacks one enemy 4 times. Each hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense. The first hit places a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. The second hit places a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. The third hit places a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. The fourth hit places a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Alright? This is a great ability in Hydra. Say I have like my Ugo, right? And Ugo goes in, she places her block buff, she places her defense down, but she's not the right affinity for one of the heads. So Calamitous comes in with Horde of Calamity and just puts up that block buffs where she missed, alright? So this also deals a lot of single target damage. As we will begin, as you know, it's very useful in Arena, it's useful in Dungeons, it's useful in Ice Golem. The whole package, this is a great A2, alright? On the A3, Necroclism. Attacks all enemies, this attack is always critical. Which is a bit of a nothing, because we're going to crit cap him anyway, right? If this attack kills an enemy, places an unkillable on this champion for 1 turn. If this attack kills 2 or more enemies, places an unkillable on this champion for 2 turns instead. This is basically just an AoE slap. If it kills someone, great, we get unkillable. I don't find the unkillable to be that useful, because it's not like you can use it in Demon Lord. It's just kind of a nice to have, a little bit of a fail-safe just in case, right? Because on the passive, Immortal Creation heals this champion by 50% of their max HP at the start of their turn. So he's keeping himself alive. He doesn't need to be run with a healer, any of this kind of nothing. He's keeping himself alive, then he heals himself more on his A1, right? This is why he's great for Demon Lord, and that's why I use him there. But yeah, this is actually the same passive as in the Spirit Keep. Fun fact. So if you know how annoying the Spirit Keep can be, this is this guy, right? So if you need some quick healing on him, he's got you covered. You don't need to run this base form with a healer, alright? On the second form, is more interesting, alright? So, on the A3, start with the A3. Termination attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places a Hex debuff and a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Will ignore Life Barrier, Poison Cloud, and Ally Protection buffs, alright? So this is great in Hydra, and it's great in Arena, alright? He's got a very interesting passive that synergizes very well with this Termination. That makes him very useful, not only in Hydra, but also in dungeons, alright? So that's the A3, right? So he's going to put out Hex and decrease defense, and then attack everybody. So he's doing more damage to everybody based off the Hex and the decreased defense. Alright, pretty straightforward. Here, on the A2, Final Testament. Attacks all enemies. Before attacking, removes all debuffs from this champion. Damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. Alright? So that's up to 100%. We can get up to double the damage because the debuff bar is filled at 10 debuffs, alright? Will ignore 20% of each target's defense if they are under a Hex debuff. Alright. It's cool, alright? You're ignoring defense, you're increasing your damage, right? You're at least going to get 10% more damage if you have Hex up, so you go in with Termination, decrease defense, Hex, A2, Final Testament. You're getting 20% more damage and you're ignoring 20% defense. So that's just on his own. That's just on his own. And then A1, Fell Scythe. Attacks one enemy. After attacking, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. If the target is under a Hex debuff before the attack, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target before attacking instead. Alright, that's a nice little A1. Useful. We have him, of course, with accuracy, so it's useful when he's got debuffs on him. He will be spamming the A1 a lot because these are on 4-turn cooldowns unbooked, alright? And then the passive, Banquet of Death. Fully heals this champion every time they kill an enemy under a Hex debuff. Also, increases this champion's attack by 10% for each enemy under a Hex debuff. Alright, in Hydra, you're getting 40% decrease attack. On waves, you're getting 50% decrease attack. Where I would not recommend using this form at all is against bosses, unless you want this. This is good against bosses, but single target bosses, no. I usually use the first form when at the boss, and this second form is just my best wave clearing champion or set of abilities on my account. That includes Rathalos. So, he's crazy, alright? He's doing lots of damage. He's putting out lots of debuffs. So, where exactly do we use the Calamitous, alright? Well, he's in a lot of my dungeon teams, alright? But, I'm not going to show you every dungeon team because that's not necessary. Where I am going to show him are the places that he really shines. So I'm not going to show him on, like, Dragon because, you know, he's the wrong affinity and he's just there to kind of speed things up just a little bit. But, first place I'm going to show you him is in Spider. I love this guy for Spider, alright? We are actually, let's change this team here. I will show you how good he is for Spider. Let's put a debuffer. Baudel. Yes, I know he doesn't have the accessories. He's not fully built. We'll go over this team here. Right, so we've got Baudel in the lead. Alright, we've got Armons for turn meter control. We've got Geomancer for turn meter control. We've got Ultimate Gaelic. And then we've got Calamitous. Alright, and the way that this team is set up is Calamitous. He is going to use his Horde of Calamity. He is going to Necroclism. And then he is going to Metamorph. And once he Metamorphs, he's not going to go back to the other form. Alright? The reason we want this is so that we get all these debuffs on the boss. So that Final Testament is doing maximum damage. Alright? That's what we want here. And then, let's see. Ultimate Gaelic. I'm thinking about turning off the Burning Rage. Because we don't need to kill the Spiderlings because we have Armons. So, yeah, let's turn off the Burning Rage so that they'll get more poisons on them from Baudel. And then, yeah, so let me show you here how it works, all right? I may not show you the whole run. So we've got everyone built except Ultimate Gaelic. Everyone's over 200 speed here, which means they're going twice every time the boss goes once. Of course, you've got Armons, you've got Baudel. He puts out the poisons. We don't really care about what poison actually does. We are more concerned with just the fact that it counts as a debuff. And, yeah, we're way more concerned with just the fact that it counts as a debuff so that Calamitous can put out the Hex and the decreased defense and just absolutely smash people. So yeah, the Spider got a turn, which doesn't usually happen. We got 3%ed. Armons is at almost 300 accuracy. He doesn't have a problem here, but this isn't a speed run or anything. This is just a run. This is just a dungeon run. All right, I don't have a Newt. Unfortunately, I don't have Marius. I don't have a Crizia. Well, I don't speedrun dungeons, but as you can see, just the debuffs are all there, right? We've also got an extra stun on the Spiderlings. The reason that this is so good is because what Hex does is it transfers like 10% of damage that allies receive onto the Hex target, right? So you've put out all these debuffs, okay? Then you Final Testament damage increases for each debuff. That's per enemy. So every debuff on each Spiderling is going to increase the damage done to that Spiderling by however many percent, whatever percentage per debuff. Man, we are really getting resisted today. That's not good. Anyways, so you put 10 debuffs on the Spiderlings, and then 10% of that damage is transferred to the actual spider through Hex. And that's why it's so good. There we go. We've got Malice. We've got more debuffs. Right? What do we have? Like, do we have the debuff bar full? It's pretty close to full, if it's not full. Right? So, also, everyone has War Master except Armons on this team. Yeah. So, that's also more damage transferred from the Spiderlings through the Hex, which is very nice. Right? Baudel has an AoE. It's more damage. He's got War Master too. But yeah, as you can see, like, look, that just hit for 108,000. He's not in, like, he definitely has room for improvement too, you know? His crit damage is only 224%, I think. I'd like to get that to, like, 300. Because, look, yeah, he does most of the damage here, right? He does 7 million, Ultimate Gaelic doing 1 million, and Baudel here is doing 3 million. That's all poison. Ooh. Hey, sweet! Accuracy banner for barbarians, but it doesn't have speed, which means I can't use it to upgrade Armons. That's annoying. Alright, so that's him in Spider. Where else does he really shine for us? He really shines in Fire Knight. Yeah, I'll show you a Fire Knight run, right? So, this team, we're going to use Morrigan for heal reduction, because it takes us a little while to break the shield. We are going to use Calamitous as our main damage dealer. We're going to use Geomancer to control the boss. Kymar is going to reset us, right? So this is why I love him in dungeons so much. Kymar and him make a great combo in dungeons, all right? And of course, Skull Crusher is just going to break the shield with the counterattacks, all right? So, all right, we go in, right? Crowd control everyone. It doesn't really matter. Here we go with the termination, and look at that damage. That's good damage. That's very good damage, right? and then also you're conducting everybody else's damage into them, right? See, like they're just dying. There's nothing they can do about it. They're just dead, because of this mythical calamitous. And of course, I'm not like super end game gear or anything. Like he might be in rare pieces. Like this is just general gear. Like he definitely has room for improvement. I'm definitely going to improve him, you know, um, because he's just that good as an AOE damage dealer. But as you can see, we're like clearing these waves in under a minute. We're not having any problems at all. We're not taking any hits that we can't deal with, right? We're just, yeah. So this first form is what's good for Fire Knight because he has that quad hitter and then the double hitter on the A1, right? Skull Crusher is going to put up the counter attack. We break the shield, but it almost doesn't matter because he's just going to get another turn. Alright, everyone counterattacks here, right? And then we should be fine from now on. 5, 4. Yeah, we should be fine from now on. We do want, to get decreased speed on the boss, which is very good. Yep, and then Geo controls the turn meter. We've basically cheesed the boss at this point, and we don't have to do anything. As soon as that decreased speed lands, as soon as that shield is broken, and Geomancer starts stealing turn meter, we're fine. We don't have to do anything. We don't even need healing because the boss just never takes a turn. And of course, Morgane is there to prevent him from healing too much early on, right? She also gets us to run faster. I like Morgane a lot. I don't have her booked. I don't plan on booking her soon because I don't have many Lego books. I'd rather book Bodel, right? I put 2 books into him and neither went into his A2, and that was sad. But you know, I think it's good. You know where the second form of Calamitous could come in very useful is against bosses like this when there are a lot of debuffs up and we're just controlling them, right? So you put up the Hex for the ignore defense, then you Final Testament, but I honestly think the first form has much more value when dealing with these kinds of boss encounters. So there we go. Fire Knight 20. 3-minute farm. That's not bad at all. Can we use any of these pieces? No. If they don't have speed, if they're rare, I don't keep them. So that's really where he shines outside of Hydra, right? He's okay in Dragon. He's okay in Ice Golem. I use him there on both my teams, but I wouldn't say he's exactly anything to be like. In Dragon, he's weak affinity. He's just there to speed things up with the drop defense. Ice Golem, he's an okay affinity here. This Ice Golem team is not completely consistent. I'm still messing with it. I do have a team that is consistent, but it's very slow. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly I can do to fix that, and sustain from Bodel seems to be a pretty good idea. But he's okay for Ice Golem. I want to test more things with the second form on Ice Golem because I think that could be really cool. Where else do I like him? I love him for my campaign farmer, alright? This is what he does in campaign. He's an incredible campaign farmer, right? He opens up with that A3. He doesn't need to switch forms. We build him fast enough that he can go, twice every time the waves go once, and then he just gets a bunch of extra turns from his A1, and then he blasts everybody again, right? 14 seconds, that's up there with the best, right? Yeah, it's great. Where else do I like him? What else do I want him to do? I like him in Hydra. I like him in Arena. Arena is great. Let's see if I can find a good team to go against here. That's Armons. I don't really want to face Armons, but I will if I have to. Here we go. This is an okay team. Alright, we got Alexander, we've got Warlord locking us out, and we've got 2 damage dealers. We're going to go with something similar here. Alright, Armons puts up the stun. There we go. Do we want to... Yeah, let's do that. Let's increase the cooldown. Decrease cooldown, turn meter boost. We metamorph. So this is where we use the second form. We use the second form in Arena too. He got resisted. Oh, too bad. Well, Rhonda's going to die now. At the very least. Yeah, that did not go how I planned. His accuracy is a little low for Arena. Here we go. There we go. Just wipes out everybody there because of that damage increase, right? Let's try to find another team here. Not the one-man defenses. Can we beat this team? Maybe. Let's try. We can try to beat this team. We may very well lose, but I know the Fatalis is the nuker. Oh, he died, and we don't have a reviver. Too bad. Well, but no, he is really good in Arena. Herndeg with Rhonda. Let's try this. Alright, here we go. We will sheep Brogni. There. Yes. Good. Decreases cooldowns. Alright, there we go. We're metamorphing, right? And then we put out the Hex. And look, we kill the Herndeg straight up. Alright. Yeah, he and Rathalos work very well together as my nuker. Then we'll just stun everybody. Game over. Game over. We don't mind dealing with Brogni. Right, we've got Rathalos who's strong affinity. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, he deals pretty good damage in Arena. He is my Arena nuker. I really like him in that role. But yeah, that's Calamitous. That's what he does. That's his power is insane, right? Let me just give you a look at the total stats here, right? 32k HP, nothing crazy. 3.6k attack, which is pretty okay. It's not like insane, but it's okay. When I get a blessing on him, I'll be able to up that, right? 2,000 defense, 222 speed, crit capped, 224 crit damage, 194 accuracy, right? We would like to get this higher. We want to get this to like 250, 300, but we're not there yet. We got to get some better gear first. As far as stats go, you know, top 3. Crit damage gauntlets, right? Attack, chestplate, speed boots. Pretty general build, right? Attack on the ring, crit damage on the amulet, accuracy on the banner. Yeah, that is Calamitous. As you can see, like, I'm mid game or early mid game. He helps me a lot. He helps me get through those dungeons, you know. He helps me get through Doom Tower. I should show you him on Doom Tower, but it's pretty similar as clearing the waves on Fire Knight, right? He just up with the Hex, up with the drop defense, bang, just everyone dies, right? So yeah, that's the Calamitous. That's this mythical. You know, I really think he's underrated. His reviews are abysmal, but honestly, I like him a lot. Like, compared to someone like Gizmac, right? Like, is he doing all of this stuff? You know? No. He's not doing this HP berm business, right? He's not going in with the kaboom. He's not Gizmac, right? Is he one of the worst mythicals in the game? Well, I wouldn't think so. I think this is pretty good, especially if you have great gear and you have great stats. I think the second form is very good, right? You put him at like 7k attack, right? He puts out, 4 or 5 hexes. You're gaining another 3.5k attack, basically, from his passive, right? And then you crit cap him and build him with good crit damage, and you've got like, I don't know, 9k attack plus I think his multiplier is like, is it 3 times attack or 4 times attack? Whatever. You crit cap and put him with crit damage. He's just putting out a bunch of damage. So I wouldn't think he's the worst mythical. I think he's pretty good. I think he's underrated, honestly. The only video I've ever seen praising him would be from Scratch, who basically got enough damage out of him to replace Taras, which is insane. So yeah, he'll definitely get better as I keep playing Raid, keep getting better gear, all of this stuff. I actually just rebuilt him the other day, and I upped his stats quite a bit. And he was great before that, so he's just gonna get better. He's a great mythical. Let me know what you think, who your favorite mythical is, in the comments. Like, what do you think of Calamitous? Did I convince you that he's good, at least for, early mid-game and progression? Stage 20 dungeons, like, did I convince you of that? Or do you still have doubts? Like, what's your stance on the Calamitous? Who is the worst mythical in the game? I hope you've had a great day, and continue to have a great day, and I will see you in another video. Thank you for watching.